Welcome to the Feminine Voice of God, a podcast celebrating women's spiritual connections to God, Source, and Spirit, including the mystical and the psychedelic. Join us as we explore women's transformative experiences of divine revelation and spiritual empowerment. Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 5 of the Feminine Voice of God. This is going to be a solo episode with me, your host. I do have a lot that has been going on, and this podcast is being released a little bit later than expected. However, it's perfect because it happened directly after a lot of deep work that I have not only been doing for my own path and place and purpose, but for others. And I want to share some of that with you. And I'd like to share some deep messages that have come up for me that I feel like are in a place where they're being asked to be shared. So I'd like to start just by thanking everyone that's listening to this podcast. I have like 15 subscribers on YouTube. So thank you, 15 subscribers. I'm so happy that you're there. And I know it's just a start. However, like I'm excited because this is something that I was kind of pushed to do by Source. And I didn't think that I would really get anywhere with this. I just decided to do it. And I was like, I'm going to do it because I'm being asked to do this. So here I am. So thank you to the subscribers on YouTube. Also, I do have people in other countries listening to this. I do want to highlight that I have seen Hong Kong and Ireland popping up. And you guys are like in the top 3 of listeners with the United States. So I just want to say hello, welcome, and thank you for listening to the podcast and for being here, however many there are of you. And I just want to say that I am so honored and so excited that this has reached those places. And I'm so grateful that you're here. So thank you. So over the last month, I have been working on something that deeply aligns with my soul and a calling that I was pulled into through my own inner work. And this is something that not a lot of people do or understand. So I want to be really aware of how I explain this. I work with the earth and with the earth's natural medicine to support other people. And that encompasses so many things. However, through this work, I am seeing the repercussions. It's like this ripple effect just going through people and through people to their families, to their loved ones, and it's changing people's lives. And I say this to also highlight that this isn't something that like I am like the one thing that can do this. Like the earth and her medicine is doing this. I am just a catalyst. I am a vessel for the work that is being done and bringing this to people. So I want to say that recently I have definitely been feeling more aligned with the work that I've been doing and what I've been showing up for when it comes to other people's healing. Also, as you probably know, if you've been listening to this podcast, you know that I work in the mental health space in Los Angeles. And through that work, I meet a lot of different people. And I've been having a lot come up where I feel like there is energy that is maybe challenging what I'm doing. It kind of reminds me of like when you are put in a place to fulfill a calling, a divine assignment that has come to you. It's like God sends these things to challenge what you're being asked to do. And it sometimes shows up as a dark and negative energy. And I feel like those things come up because it's kind of like this thing coming up to say, let's see if you're really dedicated to what you said you're going to do. Let me bring something to you that's going to put fear into you, that's going to challenge you, that's going to make you feel like you need to shrink again. And this happens in so many people's lives, in all of our lives, in so many different ways. And the lesson here is, are you going to shrink? Are you going to step into fear? Or are you going to move forward with faith and knowing? And I feel like the challenges that have been coming up for me are that. And the reason I link this just to my job and my work is because, one, sometimes it can be incredibly difficult when it comes to serving those in the mental health field. It can be really draining and exhausting. And sometimes people do things to try to tear you down, to make you not shine your light, because they're in a space where that's not working for them, because they don't know maybe how to step into their light. And they carry really dense, low frequency negative energy with them. And that shows up in emotions, in patterns of behavior, and in ways of thinking. So this isn't just like woo woo energy. This is literally like ways of being for people. And sometimes those people that are in that space have negative intentions for you. And I've been facing a lot of that recently. And what I decide to do is I decide to shine my light regardless. I know that this is an opportunity for me to decide which path I'm going to take, the path of fear or the path of love and knowing. And that's where my choice is at. So this is one of the messages that I want to share with you, that this will come up in your life as well, where you're being challenged with a choice of stepping into a place of fear or stepping into a place of knowing and love. And I hope and I pray and I send you love and courage to choose the path of knowing, love, and God, regardless of what people bring to you, regardless of the darkness that's surrounding you, because that's what we need in our world and in each other's lives. Not more negativity, not more shrinking yourself, not more making choices from fear, because that's taking us in the opposite direction from where we want to be. So that is definitely one of the messages that I have felt I've needed to share recently. And I actually got a message, we'll call it a download, from Source, Spirit, God. And that message was exactly aligned with this. And what I saw in my mind's eye during the time that I'm sitting in meditation receiving this message is darkness coming up, challenging me, coming into my life in a way where I am forgetting who I am, where it's putting me through painful experiences, tribulation, moments of connecting with certain people, and those people in a way like bringing that veil and fog energy to where you forget what your reason and purpose is. And then me remembering, and that remembrance comes in. And it's like, the best way I can explain it is darkness when I would remember would look at me and kind of like wink and like point like fingers like jokingly and have this energy of like, "Oh, you got me. I almost had you, but you remembered. So I'm going to try a little bit harder next time and let's see if you can remember. Let's see if you can wake up." I want to say that it was very playful. This energy was incredibly playful. And it wasn't like this super serious, painful thing. It was this, you get to play this game of remembering who you are. So I've been thinking about that a lot and just what's been going on for me in my balance of my everyday work matrix kind of job and my deep spiritual calling that I'm stepping into. So with that, I am sitting here, I'm closing my eyes because I've been feeling like there are deep messages that the world is looking for and needs. And we get to look for those in our hearts by opening our heart and by opening up deep, heartfelt connections with each other. Something that I have been noticing recently too in my life is how much balance has been happening between the divine masculine and the divine feminine energies. And these energies live and exist within all of us. So it's not really isolated to a specific gender. However, we identify sometimes more with one energy or the other. And I will say that I have been seeing a lot more balance with that in my personal life. And that balance has given me the ability to truly step into who I am. And I say that when it comes to the masculine for me, my masculine energy, it is very much about me having a constant devotion and structure to what I am doing. And doing that gives me the ability to flow into the feminine energy that I have within me. And that structure comes across in many different ways. So it's in my job, it's in my day to day, what I do, it's my morning routine, it's my evening routine, it's exercise, it's my meditation practice. And my feminine energy is more of like this creative side of me. So the podcast is part of that. Also, some other endeavors that I'm doing that are creative are part of that. Me doing the work, the divine calling that I am stepping into is part of that. And that's another message that has been coming up a lot for me recently as well. And in this work that I've been doing, I've been getting a lot of channeled messages as well. So information and things coming to me that I normally would not think of or have come up. And that information and those things I feel like are messages that should be shared. So this podcast, this episode, and the episode previously to this one, episode 4, was another message of information that I am feeling called to share. So the message that I am receiving right now as I'm just taking a moment of silence has a lot to do with love. I just feel this overwhelming feeling of love. And it's so powerful that it's bringing tears to my eyes. And that love I hear is this constant guide, this constant reminder that we are never alone. And that love was never meant to be closed, was never meant to only be for the self. It's something that is and has existed to be shared with others. And sometimes when our heart is hurt and we feel broken or betrayed, we close the heart, the love. And that's what the world needs is more love. I'm hearing connection too right now. I'm hearing connection within myself, which tells me that it's asking for us to be more connected, connecting to the people that we love, connecting to the deepest part of ourselves, because that connection is not only within ourselves, but it's something that connects us to our mother, to the planet, to God. And there's so many voices. There's so many voices like speaking on what love is. And I want to just have you take a minute and just take a breath and just feel into your heart space. And just feel your heart just start to expand from your body and open. The embodiment of love is not only the feeling that we are having right now, right here, it is also the actions that we take from that, how we move in this world with that. And that even pulls me back to what I was talking about at the beginning of this episode. Having this darkness show up for me through these people and choosing to remain open in love. Because regardless of how others treat me, treat you moving with that love is what's important. And that's what matters. And I'm getting this feeling too right now that like you give love, even if at times it's not reciprocated or given back. And that doesn't mean that you allow others to constantly take from you, to cross your boundaries, to be harmful or hurtful towards you. However, what it does mean for me is to continue moving with love, even when I'm been hurt, even when I feel broken, even when I feel like I'm giving love and I'm not getting that love back. And I know that that can feel incredibly painful and can create suffering. However, I do think it is that combination of thinking and expecting that it will return to us in the same way. And trust me when I say that there are people that will do that. And keeping your heart open is the way that you will find them. I recently have been in a kind of sad place because I recently lost my little dog of almost 16 years. He was just older and passed away. And the week that that happened, I had just made some big changes in my life that I was really excited about. And when he passed, there was a part of me that almost felt like me making those choices for myself. I was guilty and ashamed. And I realized that feeling those things wasn't going to help me, wasn't going to bring him back, wasn't going to shift or change what had happened in reality. And it almost closed my heart off to the people around me because I was in pain. And it took conscious choice and action to step forward into what I was doing because I had a really big divine assignment that was coming up that I needed to step into. And God, did it show me that I was needed there? Did it show me that I was exactly where I was supposed to be? Because the ripple effect to the people that I directly supported by being a catalyst for source, for the light. I mean, it rocked my fucking world in a good way, in a good way. And I can only imagine if I had done what I was used to doing, which was having something painful happen, closing my heart, not stepping forward with faith and knowing and love. It's like that opportunity would have been missed. And that's something that I have been told by source, by spirit, by God, that when I was playing small and I wasn't stepping into my calling, even though I had been told several times, I had had that knock from spirit, from source saying, hey, you need to do this. You need to step into this calling. And I was like, no, I'm fine. I'm not that person. That's not me. Who am I to do that? And one time it was like this, I call it the cosmic smack. Okay. Coming to me saying, we've been asking you to step into this. And there are people that would be directly affected by what we're asking you to do. And by you not doing it, those opportunities are being missed. So, about, I'd say December-ish of last year of 2025, which sounds really recent. And honestly, when I think about it, it is. And at the same time, it also feels like, oh my gosh, that was a little ways back now, because now it's June 2026. Hasn't been a year, but it definitely has been moving quickly. I really decided to fully come out of that spiritual closet and start showing my light and my gifts in a way that I never had before. And for those of you that have listened to my podcast, you know that my real big spiritual awakening happened in 2015 when my brother passed away. And that whole experience just shook my soul. It woke me up from a reality that I didn't even know was kind of holding me in this space of deep ignorance. And I say that with so much love because I know that there's probably people that are listening or people that are still in that space a little bit that are learning and understanding. I say it with so much love, but when you wake up from that, it's like, one, you can never go back. You can never go back because it's like you can't go back to sleep. And two, it has led me on this journey that has put me in this moment to be right here, right now, not only doing the work that I'm doing in my own life, but talking to you, sharing this story with you, sharing the stories of others with you. And who knows what you're going to do? Who knows what God has in store with your path, with your purpose, with your divine destiny that you are stepping into? God only knows. And I hope that you can step into the trust, can step into the knowing that things are working out for your highest good. And sometimes we question that. Like, I tell you, I know. We question that when things are not working out, when stuff is really and incredibly painful. Like we're like, oh, like I'm not connected right now, or I'm not being blessed right now, or God's like not looking out for me. And I'll tell you that from my personal experience, it's still happening then. It's still happening then. And it just pulls me back to the other point that I was making of like darkness coming up where we were playing this game. And it came up for me specifically too in like relationship. And I share this message with so much love to everyone listening and to whatever relationship you're in and whatever relationships you have in your life. But a message that came up for me was where this relationship that I was in comes up. And this person that I was with, it was like they were that quote unquote darkness, kind of putting me back to sleep, being like, forget who you are for this time being. And then when I started waking up, that person was in my third eye vision and was like, you got me. I almost had you. Let's see next time. I'm going to do something different and let's see if you recognize. And again, it was this playful energy. However, I want to say, how many times have you been in a situation where you have forgotten yourself for somebody or something else? How many times have you let who and what you know you are fade away, to hide, to shrink? It's like this, the thing that I get is like this bright light shining super bright, so bright that it's blinding, so bright that others are blinded by that light. And there's people that just want to like put this little lampshade just right on top of that, just hide that light or capture it and keep that light for themselves. And no longer, because we need your light. The world needs you, the authentic being that you are. And when I say authentic, this is what I mean too, because a lot of people throw that word around like nothing. Authenticity is who and what you really are beneath the core beliefs, the patterns of behavior, the core ways of thinking, the cognitive distortions, the trauma and pain that you have identified as you, that you think is you, that is now you've created an identity around that. It's who you are underneath all of that. And when you discover that person, that being, I'll say, what you find out is that you are actually none of those things. Like none of it. And it's almost like, at least for me, like, dang, there was this whole character that was created from ABC experience, from ABC teachings. Like, who are you beneath all of that? That's who you get to find. That's who you get to rediscover. Because that person, that being, is waiting for you. And this is something that I tell people that people bring up to me all the time when I do work with them. It's like that moment. If you haven't seen the Matrix movie, it has a lot of these little winks, like kind of giving you information. Sometimes for me, it felt like it was literally talking to me. But there's this moment where Neo, the main character, meets Morpheus, who is like this enlightened, awakened being person in the movie. And there's this moment where Morpheus tells Neo, this might not be the exact words, but this is how I see it and remember it, is he's like, we've been waiting for you. I've been waiting for you. And that moment reminds me of Neo, who is like still asleep to the Matrix, like just waking up from it. So if this is you, like just waking up from the character that you've been playing for so long that you don't even realize you're playing. And Morpheus is your higher self saying like, I've been waiting for you. I've been waiting for you to wake up to me. I've been waiting for this awareness to take front and center stage so you can be free. Now, how do we do that? Because most people, they don't know. We become aware of what we're thinking about, the emotions that we're feeling, the things that we're repeating, the stuff that we do unconsciously, these like automatic behaviors. And we get to slow down. Like truly, we get to slow down. Something that I work on with a lot of people when we're doing some deep inner work is a nervous system regulation. And that nervous system regulation is so important because switching the nervous system from fight or flight to rest and digest or like stay and play energy, most people don't even know what a regulated nervous system feels like, what a calm nervous system feels like. So if you're listening to this, I want you to start with this. Start slowing down. And that literally means slow down. And I've been seeing this all over social media recently, and I'm like, man, of course, like I've been teaching this and working on this, and it's like other people I'm sure have been doing it too. I'm not saying like I'm the first person that had this thought. However, it's like it's coming out more now, which I love. So if you see it, it's just confirmation for you. But literally when you're doing anything, slow down. That means like if you're used to like washing a dish or your hands quickly, slow down. Do it at like half the speed that you normally would and breathe. Like take deep through the nose into the belly breaths. If you're used to taking a shower and you're going quickly, rushing through, slow down. If you're used to moving through life with this sense of urgency and speed, slow down. And you'll start to see how that shifts the energy within your body. And when you take a breath, when you catch yourself going with urgency and speed, take a breath, center, and then proceed mindfully and with awareness and presence. And another part of that is doing one task at a time. Yes, there will be times where we maybe need to multitask. However, I invite you to slow down and do one task with your presence fully there, because those things will start to change your inner world. And that's the message that I want to leave with you today. That's the message that I'd like for you to move forward with. I'd also like to invite you to, if you haven't found me already, look for me on social media, go to YouTube, find me on Spotify, find me on any podcast platform. I'd love for you to leave me a review, leave me some comments about how you're feeling listening to this. I would love to some feedback from you. And if you've thought about it and you haven't done it, like, this is your call. This is me telling you, like, go find me and leave a message. And I do my best to look for the messages wherever they are. Usually I find them on YouTube. So I will put everything in the show notes for you to be able to find me, because I love seeing that feedback from people. Like, it for me shows me too that, like, I'm not alone on this path. And I know that I'm not. However, sometimes it's hard for us to find each other. All of us that are on this path together, that are walking this path of awakening and illumination, we're looking for each other. And this is my call to you. So definitely go leave a comment, find me on social media, go find me on some of the podcast platforms I'm on, and reach out. I'd love to hear from you. I'm going to leave you with a song that I created. So this music, I want you to know that I do write everything. I write all the lyrics and I pick the music style. I do like the background vocals. I write where I want maybe it to just only be music, where I want it to change and have vocals. And I let AI create the singing and the music. So I do want you to know that. And if you gotta like feel any type of way about it, it's all good. But my intention for this is to share messages of presence, love. And a lot of times when I write, these are channeled, charged, energetically charged words that come to me. And it doesn't always happen. It happens sporadically for me. So this one in particular came to me after I was, for the first time, really experiencing those challenges with people that I work with in the matrix world coming after me with their darkness and their pain, trying to tear me down, trying to make me be afraid, and quite frankly, like threatening me and threatening what I'm doing. So I ask you for this. I ask you to listen to this, and I ask you to send energy towards me for protection, for love. And I ask you to send that also to this individual and these individuals in my life that are attempting to destroy the light that I bring. Because the way that we do that is with love. So I ask you to send love. And with that, I leave you with this song and with this message. From my heart to yours, I'm so grateful that you're here. May you continue to shine your light, and may the light always be with you.
When the darkness surrounds you, may you remember to shine your light. Radiant being, the darkness at times will surround you. This is when you must shine and remember to not be afraid. This is part of the path, the divine creative dance, as painful as these moments may be. Shedding the density in your field from all you've held. Release it to your highest frequency. So my being of light, align with your most authentic energy. And remember who you really are.
If you enjoyed that music and would like more, I do have other songs that I have created that I am releasing. These are all for inspiration. This is all for remembrance. This is intentional music that I have created for people like you that are looking for that sacred reminder, for light beings, for healings, for people doing the work and doing the work in service to the one, to Source, to God. So if you enjoyed that and you'd like to find more, look for me on your music streaming app. I just started adding my music on there. Look up the Feminine Voice of God. I have a couple of songs there. I also have some music videos on my YouTube that I have created. All the links will be in the show notes. And if you enjoyed it, share this with somebody. Share the podcast, share the music, spread the word. It's mainly through word of mouth that I get everything shared. So I appreciate you. I'm grateful for you. Thank you for being here. And thank you for being a part of the Feminine Voice of God. Thank you for tuning in to the Feminine Voice of God. May the divine feminine within you continue to guide and inspire your spiritual journey. Stay connected, share your insights, and embody the wisdom shared on our podcast. Until next time, may the sacred essence of the feminine illuminate your path.